Okay, in this video I will be installing a portable wireless doorbell. This is a Honeywell model that I got from Lowe's, and I bought one extra doorbell button. The ones that come with it are all white, as you can see on the box, and I got a black one for my front door. Let's just tear into this box really quickly. There's an instruction booklet. You don't really have to read that too much. The thing in my left hand is actually the hanger for the doorbell chime, not for the push button as I initially thought for a second. And then everything else in the box, you get some batteries. Well, you get one battery for the doorbell button, you get the back for the doorbell button, and then you get some screws because this can also mount up on your wall. And then if you buy an additional button, let's say you have two doors, or I think this model can take 4 different doorbell buttons. They do come in different colors as well, and you can sync your push button remotes to have different sounds so you'll know which door somebody's at if they push a button, if you have more than one door in your house. They do make plug-in versions of this or wired versions. This is obviously one that takes 4 AA batteries. And so the back of the doorbell button sort of connects in that fashion, and it kind of looks like it could be stolen fairly easily, and probably it could, but there's just a little clip right there, and you just move that out of the way and then everything comes apart. So it's pretty easy to put together, pretty easy to take apart. Like I said, this takes AA's. I am going to go and get some rechargeable batteries because I do have a lot of AA things in the house now, and it's going to get expensive if I have to keep replacing everything. But very simple, that's how that goes together for the actual alarm portion. It's got a snooze feature or a silent feature. It's got a backlight LED kind of thing going on. There's some buttons for increasing the volume of the chime or decreasing the volume of the chime. You could also select which color you'd like it to illuminate when you press the doorbell button, and then there's a few different pre-recorded sounds that the doorbell will make. And like I said, you can synchronize the door chime sound and the color to the doorbell button. And you can select as many different ones as you would like to identify which button gets pushed. To put the batteries in, there's a screw-in cover on the back, and then obviously the battery just drops right in there. And like I said, the batteries do come with it. And then you just put the screw on back onto the door button and tighten it up either by hand, screwdriver. In this case, I just grabbed a set of keys, whatever's nearest to you. The doorbells don't work right out of the box. You have to synchronize them to the actual door chime so that they will be registered and will actually cause the doorbell to sound. So you press the set button, then you press the button on the doorbell, and then you have about 20 seconds to select which sound you would like, and within that 20 seconds you also need to select which color you would like the LEDs to light up when you hit that specific doorbell button. So here's the black one. Great success. And then for the white one, I'll program that as well. Same deal. Press the program button, press the door chime, select the sound you want, and then select the color that you want to illuminate when you press the doorbell. And give it a trial run. I'll throw most of the rest of the video in high speed just to speed it along a little bit. This old one was a push button design. You can see why I'm putting the black one in on this side. Everything's kind of dark, either gray or black. And this one's wired up, like I said, so I'll just disconnect everything. This is a very cheap button, so I'll just throw it in the garbage, and there's no real need for me to save it. I am going to keep those wires there. I'm not going to rip them right out, but I am going to cut them, and then I'll tape them up, and that way if someone wants to use a wired doorbell in the future, the wires are still there. The wires still go into the basement and terminate by the electrical box, but they're not actually hooked up to anything. So once I got all the wiring pushed back into the door frame, I'll just take the 2 screws that came with the doorbell button and I will screw that little mounting plate onto the door, and very conveniently the screw locations actually line up perfectly with the old doorbell button. So I didn't need to drill anything or move anything around. And once that's screwed in place, just take the doorbell button and drop it into place. There are arrows on the plastic mounting bracket, so just make sure the arrow is pointing up. Now for my side door, this one did not have a doorbell put into it, so I'm going to drill some holes right now. And then once the pilot holes are drilled, I'll just again take the 2 screws and screw in the mounting bracket. So there is a up and down side to these things, so just make sure you screw it in the right way. And just like the other one, there is an arrow to indicate which way is up. And this door is my side door, which I have another video on installing, but I still need to paint it up. And then once it's all screwed in, press the button and make sure it works. Now I'll get the actual bell portion out of here from the old one, and this is probably original to the house. You can see it's kind of dirty and nasty. As far as the wires go, same deal. I will cut them out of there, but I will tape them up and push them back into the wall. That way they're there if someone wants to use them in the future. And this thing has 2 screws that are holding it in place. And once the screws are out, I just sort of pry around it with the flathead screwdriver, because obviously it's been painted a few times and I don't want to rip all the paint off the wall. And I'll take the side cutters and cut everything back. And just like at the front of the house, I did take some electrical tape, wrap up all the wires independently, and push them back in the wall. Now the doorbell came with drywall anchors, so I am pre-drilling the drywall before I'm installing the drywall anchors. Once it's drilled, I will just use my screwdriver as a hammer and put the drywall anchors in the wall. And then it also comes with screws that you just screw through the drywall anchors. And just like the push buttons, there is a right way to put this on, and there is also an arrow on it, so it's pretty obvious. Because the actual chime portion of this is round, you actually won't notice if you've got that perfectly level, but I just used the paint lines from the old one to make sure it looked about eyeball level. But like I said, because it's round, you wouldn't see any sort of unevenness. And there's a demonstration. It just comes right off and drops right back on the wall. So if you want to move it into the backyard or something, you can do that. Quick test, push the button, and it's gonna work. Obviously, I'm still gonna need to patch the wall and repaint it, but that's okay. Anyway, thanks for checking out my video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.